Okay, Rudolph. Oh, hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Santa's Village. And it's cold out here and it's snowing, so hey, let's go inside by the fire, have some hot cocoa, and let Santa share some brand new Christmas stories with you. Hi, boys and girls. Time for another story and some hot cocoa, Santa's favorite, and a nice warm fire. Time for another story. This time I'm going to tell you the story about Allie and the Santa Live Now Pussycat. One morning, I was reading one of the hundreds of letters I receive each year from all you boys and girls, and I came across a letter from a little girl asking me for a kitten for Christmas. Well, I saw no problem with it, and because she had been a good girl all year, well, I decided that she should get the present she deserved. Well, a whole year passed, and on Christmas Eve, I loaded up the sleigh and went off delivering presents, as I do every year. We went from house to house, landing on the roof if it had a chimney, and we'd land in the garden if it did not, and I would use my magic key. As I landed in the garden of this house, I noticed it was in darkness, and there was no Christmas lights. Why, the house looked deserted. I checked my computer, and I pulled up my list, and oh, I thought maybe I'd made a mistake, and I was at the wrong house. But there was a letter from a little girl living in this house who wanted presents. And then I suddenly realized, boys and girls, that this was the same house that I came to last year with the little girl who wanted the kitten. Well, we were in a dilemma. We didn't know what to do because we didn't know how to deliver the presents. I asked Rudolph, he didn't know. Yodel, he didn't know. Head Elf was back at Santa's Village. Well, just then, Snowy, my dog, he jumped off the sleigh and he ran over to the hedge. He said, I can see the eyes of a cat, Snowy explained. Come quick and look. Well, so I got out of the sleigh and I trudged through the snow and over to the hedge. And there, to my wonderment, were the eyes of a little kitty looking at me. Yes, and the cat was shivering. Well, she was so hungry. And, of course, I recognized her as being Allie, the cat I had delivered the previous year. Oh, my dear, she had been abandoned. Well, I picked Allie up, and I wrapped her in my coat just to keep her warm. And bring me some hot milk and something to eat quickly, I shouted. I then realized what a mistake I had made by giving Allie as a present. A pet is for life, boys and girls, not just for Christmas. Well, we delivered the rest of the presents, and then off to the North Pole we went with one extra guest and a set of toys that had not been delivered. Well, I assured Allie that she'd become part of Santa's Village, and I introduced her to everyone there. She would become one of the family. I went back to my office and began checking my Christmas wish list to see where the toys should have been delivered. I checked every house in the world, and just then my computer came up with one answer. One house showed no deliveries. Well, it was still Christmas Eve and it wasn't over, so I jumped back in my sleigh and off I went to investigate. I found the house, and I went down the chimney. I could see it was a poor house, and the family had fallen on, well, tough times, which is why they had to leave their previous home and also left their pet. I quickly went up the stairs, and there was the little girl. She was asleep with a picture of Allie on her bedside. I realized then that although she had loved Allie, her family simply could not afford to keep the cat in these times, and this made Santa so sad. Well, I left the presents and also left her a letter telling her that Allie was now safe, and well, she had found a new home, and one day she would come back and visit the little girl. I prayed that the fortunes of the family would change, but I was taught a lesson that we all should remember, especially at Christmas time. A pet is not a present. It's a family member. And Allie is now a family member at Santa Live Now. Merry Christmas, boys and girls.